Hello, this is Pigsy doing another video. Just having a bit of a meditation session now. Powerful stuff. If you exercise the chakra points, you can get all sorts out of it. Some unusual vehicles, little dark glasses hanging around. Over the men in black, they're dressed up in one's a bloke in a post office van and another guy's in some building. Some other chap on the curb. His car, who knows, who knows. Well, I've seen mysterious people before, but not really men in black. So the meditation was quite different. Altarian, Curians, a bit of that in there, I don't know, but it's a bit of alien. So it's like, I saw go to the moon and there was two obelisks. Right, let's deal with hazards. And then there was a stone circle just beyond them. And I was like piloting something, like a capsule really, because I rotated. But there was an issue. The issue to exist, or to go through this gate, I'd have to be destroyed. I'd have to destroy myself. It's a bit bizarre. So what happened is that it sort of span like one of these gyroscopic sphere type things, and then it produced a bubble of energy. And then I went into that energy, and everything twisted around. I kind of just turned myself into a pure energy. I don't know. I basically wasn't holding the idea that I was even physical. And what happened, I was just kind of entered this kind of gate, and then I relaxed, and I started seeing different things. Of like little journey I was on one as well. So I ended up travelling. It was a bit like as if it was focusing in and it was unfocusing, focusing in and unfocusing. Like it was phasing between. And there was images, and I was with my third eye. But then I tried to do something else, because people think with third eye is something you would see with as an actual eyeball. It's only because you relate your senses, but in your subtle body, you're not limited to these things. So I try to focus it so I can see from my heart chakra, which is a bit unusual. And seeing what it would pick up, and it was in somewhere else. It was like in some burning cave or something. It's like Aladdin. So it's a different planet. So what I did is I went through the Stargate and I come back into some other plane of existence. I was aware that they were actually on the moon, they were just in a different dimension. Such a thing could exist, and so that made me sort of question, maybe, there's a certain expanse of space and time, but lapse in on itself. So it's just density of space and time. So, which kind of makes sense, like correlating frequencies. Or an echo, how an echo works. So it's some this Altarian information in my brain. So the echo, and it repeats back on itself, but the harmonics increases the strength of the echo. So then you come up with creating like a white noise frequency. But if the resonance is the same throughout, then the density of that hologram or construct increases. And it's also, you'd need a filter. So to filter myself, let's say the energy around my body is much larger than my actual physical form, or high density frequency form. And it's also resonates to a point where it's affected subatomic structures, so that's why I can composite elements to my body to form a physical structure. So when things come into existence, they can just come into existence. the stuff about Shiva just existing and come from the void, and that's probably how it would work. Basically crossed over from another dimension, but the density of her own physical body increased to the point where she could transfer across. So in this solar system, there could be almost like mini multiple universes in that sense, because the planet might exist. I mean, I can't prove it because it's just what I'm trying to. Different. What is going on? In what we conceive as different dimensions, but it's probably octave frequencies. So dimensions tend to be a spectrum within a plane of existence, but an octave is another plane of existence. Which is far more complicated. I guess it's the way to explain it. I don't know. Rainbows is your 7 visible light dimensions, and then there's 7 non-visible light dimensions, like microwaves and stuff. They're also octaved into frequencies of dark light, which is forms of gravity. Because it doesn't leave things, it forms around. Oh wow, there's loads of stuff here. That's what happens when you take a psychic trip. Just start travelling, and you can eat it for so long, and then you might come out, and then you might fall into a lower level when you start falling out of consciousness, so you're falling asleep, which you don't want to do. You want to do travelling around learning things. So it's all about light and frequency, and that's it really, I guess. And then how does it work into the Trinity? There's got to be consciousness behind it, which is a subtle force, why it exists in the first place. Which scopes our reality. Yeah, so with meditation, it's just really you're trying to increase that frequency. A lot of people think, oh, we're going to go up in frequency, but they're not actually doing any work. So you need to do some kind of like meditation. And I guess really where things developed for me is when I got the Lumerian crown ages ago, and I did some meditation work with it. But it enabled me to think about the third eye, because I wasn't really focusing on a certain point in my head where the crystal was, and that helped. So it was a meditation tool in that sense. But once you've connected to it, you don't really need to use it all the time. It's a bit like I've set up the Wi-Fi, so it already has the router in there, and then so it just connects, and it's just a case of which sites I'm navigating. And then there was other stuff I went on to do, heartful meditation, yoga, and that's to do with like the heart chakra. But there's other ones in the body, and they can grow and increase in size, and they're not limited to function either. And birds are interesting me as well. I've got a bird that's eyeing me up and coming over, and I had a robin underneath my car earlier. That's interesting. Don't fear me at all, which is a kind of nice experience. The other thing I'm looking at as well is probably for diet and kind of fasting. It's not quite fasting, but rather than hunger, I'm going to look at how tired you are sleep-wise or physically, and then you can figure out your calories based on that. When you're burning fats, you're going to be sluggish anyway, because you start burning your own resources, and the quicker you are and the more effective at doing that, it's fine. A lot of us are insulin junkies, because we're used to having lots of sugar. So at some point in the day I allow sugar to increase because it's good, but like I felt tired earlier, so I had a load of sugar, and then I meditated, so I started exercising my mind. It helps with my nervous system as well. But now for the day I don't really need to indulge in heavy sugar eating, I just need fats and protein, but I'll leave that until I physically feel a bit tired, and measure maybe hunger as well. But when your body starts to dial down, That's when it's reserving energies or it's slowing down. There's points in the day where your body obviously does it anyway because you need to go sleep. But if you're too knackered, your quality of sleep can be pretty shit. I mean, you don't have to worry too much about sugars. You might just need. So what I've been doing is having a main meal in the day, and then maybe some snacks. But the snacks are not really massive a problem, and it's either 16-8 Warrior or OMAD if I'm really up for it. But if I've eaten a big giant meal, then that's probably OMAD, if possible. So anyway, this has been the sign off for the video. Have a great day, and speak to you soon. Bye.